Welcome to episode 70 of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC animated universe co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And Supergirl this week.
Yes, I thought you were going somewhere else.
Where'd you think I was going?
I thought you were going to apologize that we're recording this literally minutes before the Super Bowl, so we are not going to talk about the trailers this week.
Oh, well, there's that too. Yeah, we decided to record this beforehand, so I don't know what else is going to be premiering in terms of trailers.
Let's just say one's going to be good. If we get a Han Solo trailer, great.
Oh, that's not coming until tomorrow. That's confirmed that's not happening until Monday morning on Good Morning America. I think we're getting the Mission Impossible 6 trailer.
Oh, yeah, I heard that rumor.
I don't know if there's anything else we're really getting. We might get like a TV spot for maybe Infinity War.
I would think... Deadpool maybe.
Oh, maybe Deadpool.
I like Deadpool, and then I think
maybe
Aquaman might be too early.
Yeah,
but DC usually puts stuff out really early.
Yeah, we might get a teaser for Aquaman. Mm-hmm. If good stuff comes out, we'll record some other little bit and throw it in somewhere.
Yeah.
But we did get a couple of trailers this last week, though.
Some real,
maybe some less so.
Some that we wish were real.
Yeah, I am super excited though for the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer.
Yeah, that was really good.
It was really good. Like I really liked the first one. I get that it would have been great to see, what's his buckets? Who's the director? Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been great to see Edgar Wright's version of it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Peyton Reed. Is it Peyton Reed? Yeah.
Yeah, Peyton.
I thought it was fun. It was good. I think this one looks better.
I think it looks the exact same. I feel like he's going to try and... Because, I mean, a lot of people speculate that you can see exactly what scenes were Edgar Wright and what scenes weren't.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty true. Edgar has a very specific directing style. And I hope that Peyton Reed has his own way of handling that and doesn't just try and duplicate it. Because there's some of the scenes, they kind of look like they're trying to be Edgar Wright, like the giant Pez coming out of the back of the truck.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I love the building. The building with the handle
shrinking down into a suitcase.
Yes, the building that is completely powered and has its own internal plumbing system because there are no pipes or anything connected to it.
He probably stole an arc reactor and threw it in there. Yeah.
Yeah. I love everyone joking about like that one guy who's working on the weekend. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to
oh, no.
get all chummy with the boss.
And he gets shrunk down.
Yeah. He's like
stuck inside of it.
Why am I rolling? Has that handle been in this building the whole time?
I mean, hey, it's San Francisco. Earthquakes are a problem.
Yeah.
Guy's probably freaking his shit out. No, I like
Would
that.
Would he know if he shrunk? Because everything around him stayed the same.
I guess you would probably feel
something.
Feel something, yeah. So this, I guess, starts to throw into question of like at what level, like how effective. I mean, I guess the way that, I guess everything inside the container.
Yeah, so he would feel something weird, but nothing would feel different to him until he looked out the window.
Yeah, I guess that does raise an interesting question of what's the limit of the effect of the shrinking technology? Because obviously like, everything inside the suit shrinks, but when they shrink technology too, it's just like all the components also shrink down as well. Mm-hmm. So would a person inside of a building also shrink? I guess the answer must be yes. Let's assume it's yes, because when he shrinks it down and rolls away, it's not like it's like seeping blood.
Right, and also like all the desks and stuff inside.
Yeah, every object inside of it would shrink down too. Mm-hmm. I mean, it looks like they're gonna do some pretty clever stuff. I love everything that has to do with the Wasp in it. That looks really awesome.
Yeah.
I like there's a car chase where they like are shrinking down and growing as they go along. That looks like it's going to be pretty clever.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a good point. Maybe it does look exactly the same, but if it's exactly the same, I'll be fine with it because it looks pretty fun.
Yeah, I would like to see them push it a little bit more. But yeah, I think that the big question about this is where do you think this is going to take place in the timeline?
Well,
I've heard rumors this is pre-Civil War.
No, it's post-Civil War.
Oh, because he grows. You're right.
Yeah. Well, no, but it's also in the trailer. He's like, "Oh, if I had asked you for help when I went to go."
Oh, that's right.
Like, when Cap asked if I'd asked you, would you have come along? Mm-hmm. She's like, "Well, no."
Yeah. So post Civil War, do you think it's pre-Infinity War?
It has to be.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because Ant-Man's in Infinity War, right?
I think so.
Well, I know that the Wasp is in Avengers 4, but I'm assuming they're in there somewhere. I don't know, but yeah, I'm gonna go with. Yeah, I think the only thing that matters really is post Civil War and pre Infinity War. I don't know where it would fall in the timeline in regards to like Thor. That doesn't really matter with Thor because that's off world. But even then,
well, I mean, it's also the same thing with the first Ant-Man. It's kind of in its own realm of it, because it came out after Ultron,
and it's and we
but
see it's
it
after
had
Ultron.
nothing to do with Ultron. I mean, there was nothing that connected it to the timeline of Ultron.
No, other than the fact that they're at the
new Avengers.
Avengers. Yeah, I think did they make some comment about dropping a city? I feel like there's a line in there about that.
I don't remember. I'm gonna do my marathon kind of the week before Infinity War.
Dear God.
It's not gonna be like last time. I'm not gonna.
It's gonna be worse because there's like twice as many.
Yeah.
Because I think Ant-Man and the Wasp is number 20, right?
Yes. Yeah. Because our list it'll be 21.
So
because we're at 18 right now.
So does that mean that Infinity War is 20?
I think so. Let me check I have my list of rankings.
Oh, okay. I've never bothered to sit down and do a ranking at this point. There's too many.
No. Ant-Man will be 20. So we're at 17 right now.
Oh,
yeah.
God damn. That's crazy.
I know.
But yeah, I'm excited for it though.
Oh, absolutely.
It looks fun. Did you see the news that they're going to do a Metropolis TV show in the style of Gotham? That's all about like.
God damn it!
It's about Lois Lane and Lex Luthor either at odds with each other or teaming up together to like study like the burgeoning paranormal like metahuman element in Metropolis pre-Superman.
All right, whatever.
So it's basically just like Smallville, but
without Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine.
And it's
if they get Michael Rosenbaum to come back. Then I'll watch
you know what? I agree with that. Actually, if they
he would never.
No, if they brought back Michael Rosenbaum and Erica Durance, which they would never do, I would watch it.
Yeah.
Because I really loved both of them.
And have them both play like college age.
Oh, as they have them play each other. I want to see Michachael Rosenbaum play Lois Lane and Lois. Yeah. I could see Erica Durance doing a nice like Machiavellian, crazy Luthor sort of thing.
Yeah.
And if you've seen Sorority Boys, Michael Rosenbaum looks all right as a woman.
I've not.
You haven't seen Sorority Boys?
No.
Oh, we gotta watch it.
It sounds great.
I mean, it sounds terrible.
No, it sounds great.
But it's actually really damn funny. You don't have to take my word on this.
I trust you.
We'll watch it at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not as good as Fired Up. It's that same sort of vein of like this movie should be terrible based off the plot.
Oh, okay.
But it's actually really damn funny.
Mm-hmm.
At least it was funny when I watched it many years ago.
Okay.
There's a dildo fight. It's great.
Amazing.
That's all you want out of a good quality film.
That is, really.
Yeah, so that show's probably gonna be terrible. I know I won't watch it. I don't watch Gotham. I can't. It hurts my soul.
I have a former coworker switched over to WB, and his first project was cutting commercials for Gotham.
Oh no!
And I just started laughing.
Oh no! I feel so bad for him.
He did get to go to the Black Lightning premiere, which is cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I've heard good things about that. So far.
I just watched the first 2 episodes yesterday.
Okay.
It's pretty good so far.
Okay, cool. Is that gonna be in your plugs later?
It can be.
Oh, okay,
I forgot to write that one down.
Okay, we can talk about it later in plugs. But yeah, I'm curious what you said about that because it looks good. I just there's too much to watch now. I can't do it.
I know. Can we talk about the fake news?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, the news I want to be so real.
Okay, tell us, Cameron. Spin us a yarn.
So there's a rumor and then a trailer. I'll talk about the trailer first.
It makes more sense.
Yes. So for the people who haven't seen, there's a trailer for a movie called Dundee, which is the son of Crocodile Dundee.
Do you know
played by Danny McBride?
Oh, so do you know who played the original Crocodile Dundee?
No.
Paul Hogan.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he produces, quote unquote, produced this film.
Yeah. Because there's no director listed at the bottom of the credits, but he's tacked down there at the bottom as producer. Yeah.
So the trailer is Danny McBride, Chris Hemsworth, Liam Hemsworth, Margot Robbie, Ruby Rose, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
And someone. Fucking Andy. Not Andy Serkis. Who is the villain?
Oh, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. Yeah.
People often get their Andy Serkises and Russell Crowe's confused.
I was just shooting for Australia.
Yeah. Russell Crowe must have done mocap at some point, right? He must have done it for. I didn't see The Mummy. Did you see The Mummy?
I did not see The Mummy.
Wow, that's
I have standards now.
Wow.
The Mummy is the only thing below it.
Oh man. I mean, that is maybe the most insulting thing anyone's ever said about The Mummy.
I know.
He must have done mocap for that. Just the idea of Russell Crowe, just grumpy old Russell Crowe in a bright green mocap leotard. It just brings me joy knowing that may have happened at some point, and that someone was there on set to see that happen.
Yeah.
It was kind of like with Tintin. But I guess the first time that Daniel Craig met Steven Spielberg. No, was it Spielberg? I mean, he made it with Spielberg, but it was somebody else. It was some other really famous, like, big actor that he really admired. He was on the set of... so he was wearing like the
mocap suit. That's great.
Yeah, James Bond in a mocap suit. Oh, it's so good.
Doesn't look that bad.
No, he looks good in everything. Are you kidding me? My God.
So this trailer, the dialogue feels horrible but lovely.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the news came out that this is a setup kind of commercial for a bigger commercial that we're probably going to get during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What a lot of people think is just a commercial for Australia.
Probably. It might be like Tourism Australia. So because if you stop and watch the trailer, for me, there was a number of things that gave away that was probably fake. One is the sheer number of people in there. Mm-hmm. That would be an absurdly expensive movie. One. Two, it would be impossible to schedule because everyone in that has very, very busy schedules going on. And just the way it was done, too, it was a lot of individual set pieces.
Yeah.
Like every character only appeared in one like set, basically. Except for Dan McBride and like Chris Hemsworth. They appeared in a few things, but everyone else is just like, and it's just them. It's pretty static all the way through. It's just like, okay, yeah, this is probably fake.
But everyone wants it to be real.
I mean, it looks amazing. And
it looks like so much fun.
I mean, who knows how these crazy things happen, right? Like, we eventually got a Machete movie out of the fake trailer. That's true, we got two of them out of the fake trailer from Grindhouse. So you never know. Like, the world works in weird ways now. Someone's going to be like, wow, this got a lot of buzz, actually. Maybe we should go ahead and just make that Crocodile Dundee reboot?
But clearly it's going to be 5 years from now when no one cares about it anymore.
No, of course, because, nothing works in the timely
fashion. Like the Emoji Movie.
Oh, man, did anyone ever care about that, though? Was there ever
probably
a point,
like
was there
5 years ago someone
ever
cared.
A point where you would have been like, man, I really want to see these emojis in a feature film?
No.
I
mean, they almost sold me. The Patrick Stewart playing the poop emoji was
their
biggest selling point.
I feel like the way to approach that, though, is to just watch a compilation of his scenes. I was kind of the whole movie. It's kind of like how you don't need to go watch, what was it, Cohen? Oh, Hail Caesar. Just watch the trailer that has the great Ray Fiennes scene.
Yeah.
That's all you need. That's the only good part of that whole movie. Just watch that in your set.
I have one final piece of news that we'll speed through really fast because it's more of a rumor news that I want to be so true.
Okay.
There's a video game from the 90s called Duke Nukem.
Have you ever played a Duke Nukem game? Have you ever played one of them?
I have.
I've never played one.
Yeah. This is a franchise that is consistently years behind like the hype. So there was the Duke Nukem game in the 90s, which was huge. Everyone loved it. It was the first it was kind of trailing behind Mortal Kombat, where like games can be gritty and like targeted for a more adult audience. And it's because Duke Nukem is like this badass guy who pees wherever he wants, and he's always drunk, and you actually like see him drink on screen, which was like a very big thing for video games back then.
Yeah.
The sequel came out like 18 years later, and no one cared about it. And so now it's back in the news, and it still looked bad.
Yeah.
Now it's back in the news because there's rumors that John Cena might star as Duke Nukem in the film franchise.
I could see that working.
Because we need, Chris,
what?
More movies based off of video games.
Hey, to be fair, I don't think...
There's no way to end that.
Well, I was going to say Jumanji. But that's not.
That's different.
That's kind of like Scott Pilgrim or Wreck-It Ralph. It's a movie about a video game.
That is very different.
I'll agree with you on that one. Yeah, actually, because we have yet to have an actual good movie based off of a video game.
I think I've thrown this fact out once before. Do you know what the highest rated video game? Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
40%.
40%. Hey, Nah, never mind. So we got Tomb Raider coming along. It's probably not gonna be very
We have
good.
Tomb Raider coming out, and then
I'll see it. It's probably not gonna be very good though.
there's another Rampage is also coming out this year.
Oh yeah, I haven't even watched a trailer for it.
And then Ready Player One is kind of, it's in the closer to the realm of Scott Pilgrim.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's not based off of a video game property, but it's gonna be about video gaming. And I feel like that's been the trick, right, all the way through. Is it's you can't. I don't know why that transition doesn't work.
There was a really interesting video essay I saw about this a few months ago that I wish I could remember what it's called.
I feel like you may have mentioned. I feel like you may have plugged it before actually.
Okay.
So I think I watched it too.
Their big point is the problem with watching a movie based off a video game is just as exciting as watching your friend play a video game.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
There's the whole point of games is the interactiveness.
Yeah.
Of you are the character.
Yeah, that's true.
And when you're just watching the character move around and you have no say in it, it's much less exciting.
Well, and that also helps explain why the movies that are about gaming that have that sort of meta-analysis are good, because we can all look at that and go like, oh, that's what it's like to play a game, not like, oh, I remember when I played this, but I had more fun when I was actually just playing it.
Yeah.
Versus like, oh, yeah, this is making a comment about what it's like to be playing a video game or what that structure is like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would love for a good video game movie. Like I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I feel like there has to be like a next level of technology. Like, cause I always talk about, choose your own adventure movies. Cause I would love for that to happen. It'd be super expensive.
I feel like it's gonna probably happen in VR would be my guess, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's already, in France, there's a VR TV series with the choose your own adventure.
Yeah, because we're getting there. So I was doing some research on Sundance the other day, and there were 2 really big VR projects that sold there. So I think that is kind of the next wave coming. We still haven't gotten to the Star Wars VR thing.
I know.
Damn it, we need to do that.
Void. But yeah, I mean, I think once we get to that point where you can have a full movie that's a choose your own adventure, it doesn't have to be like super extensive. Like have like 6 decisions throughout an hour and a half movie.
Yeah,
that's actually a lot. 5 decisions in an hour and a half movie. I think that is what you need to make a video game movie feel good.
Yeah.
And also people who can write it and not just bank off of the fact that it's based off a video game.
Well, I mean, if they were to do kind of like what Telltale does, right? Where it's as you go along, decisions impact the storyline, whether characters stay or go. You just do that, but you do it on a film level project. I know Soderbergh just did something, is it Mosaic, that he did with HBO, which is kind of, it's not VR, but it's this kind of, it's that storytelling idea. There's an element of like choose your own adventure. Okay. You choose how things progress. I listened to an interview with him, but I'm not sure exactly how it works. I haven't tried it. But I think all those things are eventually going to merge. And yeah, the first few probably won't be great, but at some point we're going to end up with a really good version of that.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm so excited for that day.
Yeah, I'll chuck my Xbox One out the window. I'll go buy a PlayStation.
There you go.
They seem to be the ones who are actually closer on the VR thing. And also that Xbox One's a piece of shit, and I hate it so much.
I mean, if you want VR, you want a PC. You got to join the master race. I know. Being in the creative industry, saying get a PC is not harmonious with that statement.
By all means, I should probably have a PC. I'm getting increasingly frustrated with Mac. I'm so far down the rabbit hole now. I don't know if I can come out.
Yeah.
All right, so I have one last little bit of news, then we'll move on.
Okay.
So you and I talked about this before, but I guess there's a bunch of DC fans that were planning, I think it may have been foiled, to try and sabotage the Black Panther Rotten Tomatoes score because they believe that Disney pays for positive reviews because they just can't take the fact that non-DC films do better. And I mean, obviously, we're very critical of the DC films, but given the fact that we do this goddamn podcast, I think it's fair to say you and I are actually both bigger DC fans than Marvel fans.
Oh, I always consider myself a DC fanboy.
Yeah, I have my whole bookshelf is all DC comics.
Same. DC and Indies.
Yeah, DC and indie comics. I much prefer DC comics. Like, I really wish that DC would put out an unlimited sort of thing. There's so many things I want to read. Actually, real quick, I want to do a shout out to someone on Instagram. I believe it's Cameron Miller. I know, Cameron, hopefully you're listening. I'm not sure if I actually got your last name right or not. But he was nice enough.
Millar.
What? This Millar. Yes. He was nice enough to write to me after I put out a request to explain the Batman continuity from the last few years. And he sent me this long list of basically how you go from Grant Morrison through Scott Snyder into Tom King, and he laid it all out. And I somehow missed it in my Instagram for a long feed, but it's really, really sweet of him to do that. So now I got to try and track that stuff down. So thank you, Cameron, for doing that.
Thank you.
Not you, Cameron.
I said thank you. I didn't
Not
say you're
you,
welcome.
Cameron.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So we're bigger DC fans, but let's face it, Marvel makes better movies. At the end of the day, they make better movies, and that's not necessarily the faults of the creatives. It's a lot of the faults of the overall structure of the company.
Right.
But this is bullshit to try and go through and tank Black Panther because it's not DC and because the DC movies are terrible.
I know. And I feel like this is an online trend that became popular with Star Wars Battlefront 2, where people were like, "Oh, we can determine the ranking, and if we have the numbers, we can change the ranking of anything."
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've seen, but Star Wars Battlefront 2 is now the lowest rated game of all time.
See, that's
Which is hilarious because it's a fine game.
It's hilarious. It's probably fun. I haven't played it.
It's one aspect that people hate, and it's a big thing to hate. It's the microtransactions,
right? But that's also systemic of a broader problem with gaming, and not just that title. And there's obviously other issues with that title too.
And it's also a big issue with the lead company because it's an EA game.
Yeah,
and
that's
EA
true.
is
not doing great. But yeah,
is not making fans happy right now.
No, it's I don't know. It's just really bothersome. I mean, there's probably also. It can't be coincidental. This is also the first Black superhero, and that this is happening too. It really, really bothers me. But there is something cool coming out of it, and so this started a while ago. But basically, there's a whole bunch of GoFundMe campaigns to raise money so that kids get to go see Black Panther, right? Because like you and I are both white guys, all superheroes look like us,
right?
Like I still really want there to be more queer stuff in superhero films, but that'll happen eventually. But so this idea is like. Be able to take kids to go see movies so they can see someone who frankly looks like them and who like represents them and feels like them on the big screen. So I was trying to track down, I'll come back around to this and plugs at the end, trying to track down one of those Kickstarter campaigns that seemed to be pretty legit. And I think I found one that also works with an organization called A Place Called Home. So it's based in LA.
Okay.
So I'll give more details in the end. But so I'm going to end up donating to it. But it's just a way to like get kids to go see it because it's a really awesome thing.
That's awesome.
And I'm super excited for that movie.
Me too.
And I'm excited that people are excited for that movie.
Yes.
So... All right.
The highest, what is it? It's the highest pre-sale movie of all time, minus Star Wars.
I think certainly Marvel. I don't know about all
I
time.
I think Marvel, yes.
Yeah.
I want to say all time minus Star Wars.
Yeah, probably.
Because that one's not fair. I don't know if we'll ever beat the pre-sales of Episode 7.
I don't think you possibly can. I mean, it was a...
I bought my ticket 3 months in advance for that movie.
You had to.
Yeah.
You had to. Yeah, I mean, it was a cultural phenomenon. Like, I don't know if we'll ever see something quite like that again.
No, probably not.
No, because it was something that everyone thought was dead. They came back around. And
they ended on such a sour note as well.
That's true. Yeah, everyone's like, well, maybe it's for the best. Yeah.
Shazam.
Just gonna be it. All right, so I think I'll step down off my soapbox here and let us finally get around to talking about Supergirl.
Yes.
So I love Supergirl in the DCAU. This was, like many other DC characters, kind of my entry point to her.
Same.
I actually haven't read a lot of comics involving Supergirl. Like I've except for the Superman Batman Supergirl title that reintroduced her in 2004. There's not a lot that I've read with her. But so this version is the version that most people know, which is Kara. Well, actually, this isn't Kara Zor-El.
Right. Yeah. That was what kind of messed me up, Mike. Because usually they're cousins, and this one, she's from a sister planet.
Yeah. So the whole setup for that is weird because basically Superman goes back to the destructed area where Krypton is left. Fun fact: did you know that there was a deleted scene from Superman Returns all about that?
Yes, you've mentioned that before.
Yeah, I think there's like some deleted scenes that are on the DVD, and there's some previs. I've also read the script. It's really a shame they cut it out because I think it would have thematically tied it a lot more together.
Yeah.
I kind of see from a plotting reason when they cut it out, but it would have been a really interesting sequence to see. It was even in the first teaser trailer. There's a shot of like the ship going through the...
Oh, I'll have to rewatch that.
Yeah, it's a great teaser. But anyways, yeah, he goes back and Krypton's gone, but yeah, he discovers this sister planet a ways away called...
Argo.
Yeah, I guess Argo.
He gets a distress signal from the outskirts of the solar system.
Yeah, so he goes to this place called Argo City and comes across a scientist who basically says that after Krypton exploded, it knocked Argo out of its orbit, and the whole planet started to freeze. And a few of them tried to stay alive for a while, and they went into hypersleep, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, hibernation.
Hibernation, yeah. And the only one to come out of that is this girl who ends up being Kara. Superman brings her back. So then they go back to Earth, and then we basically cut straight to her flying around.
And maybe the best music score.
It is great.
I've heard in this series.
Yeah. No, it is a fantastic score.
I was
sequence.
so just like happy listening to that song.
And I mean, it's a good, they kind of dwell on it for a bit, but I think rightfully so. Like, it is a great sequence of her flying around Kansas. I think the animation's pretty solid there. The music's great. I think maybe more so than Superman ever really is embracing how awesome that is, that she has these powers and she needs to be outside and enjoying them.
Because Superman always talks about it almost as a burden. Yeah. Of like, I have to do this. And Kara is just like excited to be alive.
Right.
Like, excited to have the opportunity.
Yeah, because that's one of the big differences. Is she would have been alive to have seen the planet get destroyed and see her entire family get killed and this whole thing just go completely messed up. So I can understand why she'd be so excited. I also kind of felt like they just skipped a lot here. I mean, so beyond the fact of getting her back from the destructed remnants of Krypton to Earth and getting her settled in, it's just like, why can she fly all of a sudden?
I feel like they missed like the 1 year later time card.
Yeah, it's because it does seem like a lot of time has passed, a lot of stuff has passed.
Because she's also like very connected to the parents already.
Yeah. She feels very settled in, and I would have liked some more time of her getting adjusted to this, and like kind of going to that transition point of going from grieving to starting to like embrace her new homeworlds. And
I agree with parts of that, but at the same time, kind of every story we've had of an alien coming in, we've already seen the adjustment period because there was.
I guess that's fair.
There was the two people at the beginning of this season.
Oh, Jaxor and Mala.
Yes. There were them, and you got to see her like adjustment period. It was brief, but you're
right.
Still,
I kind of forgot about that.
Like getting used to Earth, getting used to powers, and like every iteration of Supergirl we have outside of that is the same story.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy that it was like someone who was just happy to be there.
No, that's fair. Why do you think that she already has her powers so quickly? Because like it took Clark forever to get there.
I mean, she was older. Is she? I assume like 16 to 18.
I think she's right around there.
I hope 18 because at the end, Clark is trying to set her up with Jimmy.
Well, but Jimmy's probably around 18.
I was just gonna say like
17, 18.
20 to 22.
Well, he did make a comment about how he's like had his fill of teenagers for the day. So I think.
Oh, okay.
Well, also, didn't we figure out at one point that Lois and Clark in this are like 26?
Oh, that's right.
Or something like that. Like they are way younger than you
right,
would
because she already has 2 Pulitzers at 26.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
20, I think it was 28.
It might have been 28. Yeah, she had 2 Pulitzers at 28. So I think Jimmy is probably a good 10 years younger than him. So I think he's still a teenager.
Which is dumb of him complaining about like, my big break hasn't hit yet. I'm like, well, yeah, you're 18.
Well, yeah, but Lois probably had her big break at like 12.
Yeah,
she probably won her first Pulitzer at 15.
Yeah.
So everyone else looks like a schmuck by comparison. I was kind of, I mean, I guess maybe it has to do with age sort of thing. Like maybe it takes you to maybe it has to do more with like puberty sort of thing. Like maybe as a kid it doesn't work. I mean, they kind of did that in Smallville too. They've never really given a good reason as to why it takes so long for the powers to manifest.
But it's also the same with every person that comes to Earth. The same with the Mala.
That's true.
Her powers came immediately.
Yeah.
And in Man of Steel, their powers came pretty much immediately.
Yeah. So I guess you do just have to be an adult or whatever for it to
manifest.
Yeah, to come into play. So here's the other thing that I was kind of curious about. So in the comics, in the bulk of continuity, she is actually his cousin, blood relative. So that's kind of the explanation as to why they never have a thing, because I mean, even though they're the only two compatible, like biologically speaking, they're related, so that doesn't happen. Not the case here.
Right.
Which then does kind of raise the question, why do they not have a thing?
I would say age.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, he's already got googly eyes for Lois.
That's true.
And I think because he did take her to his parents, he probably sees it as more of a mentor.
Yeah, I guess
relationship.
That's fair. I guess he is always kind of looking to be a role model more than he's ever looking to be.
I would
a playboy.
Up until 2 years ago, I would say the same thing about Bruce and Barbara.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, we can no longer say that relationship.
I know.
There was a small detail in the shot that I just want to bring into light because I found it very funny. It's when the Kents are watching the weather One, Al Roker is the voice of the
I love that it was Al Roker.
But he's talking about the weather in Kansas, but all the icons and he points to Nebraska.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. And I was just like,
come on, Al, you can do better than that.
It was just a small little thing that I am like, do they know? I understand a lot of like people on the coast don't understand the middle America, but like it's a map.
Yeah, it's a map.
You know, Kansas is the middle. It's the easiest one. It's the middle.
I mean, I guess if you were to put a map of the United States in front of me and it didn't have the states and you said point out to Kansas, I could probably get pretty damn close.
Mm-hmm.
But I might miss and hit Nebraska. And you can just sit there and judge me.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess that's a good point, though. I guess it is nice we kind of get just straight into her being there, and all she wants to do is to be a hero like Clark. Like she's itching to do it to the point where she basically just follows him out to Metropolis to go try and figure out
these hoodlums.
The hoodlums of Intergang.
One of which.
I was gonna say, did you catch who this was?
Oh, did I catch who this was? I screamed.
Yeah,
when I heard one of the hoodlums named. He had a dumb name. Trouble. Yeah. Is voiced by Robin from Teen Titans.
What's the actor's name, though?
I don't know.
Scott Menville.
That guy.
Yeah. No, a friend of mine had to point out, because I'm like, why do I know this name? And he's like, oh, it's Robin. I'm like, fuck.
Could you not just hear it?
I heard it. Like
his voice hasn't changed.
I mean, it's the exact same voice. I knew it, but I just wasn't placing it.
Okay.
You know, I was like, is it, what's not James Marsden. What's the guy, like he does, isn't his last name Marsden?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, who does? Oh my god, how am I blanking on his name? But he does like the voices and everything. Like I think he played himself, like not himself, but he was a live action character in Boy Meets World, obviously, because that was a live action show.
Yeah,
like he was in it. But yeah, I thought it was one of those kind of people, like one of those just voice actors you hear.
Jason Marsden.
Jason Marsden, thank you. I thought it might have been him. I was trying to place it, and like, oh right, no, it's Robin, which I did love that he was there because he does sound the exact same.
It's also Thackeray Binks.
Oh, that's right.
Jason Marsden is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Different. Yeah. But yeah, so we get Intergang, who's come back. And
wait, hold on. That means Robin, the voice of that voice actor, has been in, I don't know if he was in The Batman. If he was in The Batman, that means he has been in every iteration, almost every
DC iteration?
Yes. Because they were in Young Justice.
So you're talking about this guy Scott Menville,
yeah,
who's the voice of Robin in Teen Titans.
Yes.
Let me take a gander. Gander real quick here.
Because I think it might be in Justice League.
Okay, so obviously, yeah, he's Teen Titans. He's also the voice of Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man.
Because there's one. What's the series where
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
They bring back all of the Teen Titans voice cast to be the Royal Flush Gang. And I think that's a movie.
Is that Batman?
I don't think so. It might be. It might also be Flashpoint.
I think you're right. Oh, hang on. Let me take a look here. Okay, so he does the voice of Robin in like the Lego stuff, obviously. Blah 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 blah. Lego Dimensions again. Robin. Jesus Christ. Ben 10. Oh my God, go faster. I'm trying to check this out. Okay, New Teen Titans as Robin. That makes sense. I'm not seeing. No, I don't think. Oh, he's Metamorpho in Batman Brave and the Bold.
Okay.
So that's something there. Must be so exciting for everybody else who's listening right now as I scroll through IMDb.
Oh, another fun fact to throw out that I meant to say earlier. We almost made it to Solo being 100 days out before we get the trailer. Oh my gosh. We'll be at 107 days.
Not a good sign. Okay, Justice League King. He's the voice of King.
Yes, so in Justice League, they're all the Royal Flush Gang. So it's the same Teen Titans voice cast. Are the entire Royal Flush Gang.
Oh, in Wild Cards, the Joker episode, because he's listed. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I knew there was one more and I couldn't remember what it is. Right. Yeah, it's the whole voice cast.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And it's great.
Oh, what a great piece of trivia that took us way too long to figure out. So one of the things that I like about this episode is it introduced us to Granny Goodness.
Yes.
I love Granny Goodness.
Me too.
Did you catch who voices her?
Ed Asner.
Ed Asner,
yeah.
Yes. who I've actually met and is quite lovely.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Carl Fredricksen.
Yes, Carl Fredricksen. And then, of course, also Papa Elf from Elf.
And
which is one of Will Ferrell's best movies.
It is. And what's his face from the Mary Tyler Moore Show?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why. So that's how I met him, was that not because I was on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, but I was working.
Chris is actually 58 years old.
At heart, I definitely am. No, I was working on as a PA on a show called Generation X for, you know this, but for National Geographic, and we were interviewing people who had an influence on that generation. So his character was the first divorced character on television.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's why we were interviewing with him. Super nice guy.
So he spawned the divorce trend of the late 70s.
He did it. It's all his fault. But I also didn't know this. I guess Granny Goodness as a character is modeled after Phyllis Diller.
Okay.
Do you know who Phyllis Diller is?
The name sounds really familiar.
Yeah, she popped up in like a whole bunch of the old Scooby-Doo movies where it's like Scooby-Doo meets Mama Cass or whatever, like all these other celebrities. She has this like really crazy, wild look. And for no one's benefit other than my own, because I don't think my friend Daniel listens to this, but he and I have a long-running joke about Phyllis Diller, and this is his photo on my phone too.
That's great. That's a great photo.
She's manic. But yeah, I always liked Granny Goodness, and her whole deal is that she recruits young teenagers basically to become killers.
Yeah.
And sometimes she does it on Earth. She also does it on Apocalypse. So she has the...
Oh, yeah. Also, we should mention Granny Goodness is an apostle of Darkseid.
Yes. So I guess she wasn't born into like the higher class. She was born into what's called like the lowlies. But she was recruited to become one of his hounds, so one of his top killers or whatever. And
elite warriors.
She was tasked with training an actual hound, like a demon hound or whatever, named Mercy. And she basically was put through the Kingsman test of like, you have to kill your dog to pass. So instead, she killed the guy who told her to kill the dog, and then told Darkseid, well, I just saved you a very valuable asset. And he's like, okay, I'm intrigued by you. And then he basically instructs the dog to kill her. So she ends up killing the dog anyways. But like that's how she earns her spot.
Okay.
I thought that was a clever twist in the whole thing. But yeah, she's like, I'm not going to kill the dog. I'm going to kill you, you ass bag. Yeah, so now basically Jimmy and Supergirl are trying to investigate Intergang because Jimmy also, he wants his big break. He hasn't had his byline yet.
Love that we finally get, it's minimal, but it's real detective work.
Yeah, like actual real detective work. Because Jimmy comes across an arcade token. He's like, oh, we're going to hit all the arcades.
The 90s. All of them.
Head down to Nickel City and try and track down the bad guys.
It's not this one. Let's go across the street to that one.
Yeah. I did think it was interesting, though, because Kara shows up in disguise wearing glasses and a brunette wig, which is a disguise her character in the comics uses a lot. She abandons it pretty quickly, though. Yeah. And she just goes back to her normal look. Now, I guess when she introduces herself, she doesn't introduce herself as Clark's cousin, which helps.
No, she says intern to Jimmy.
Yeah.
But she says something else when she sees Clark.
She's like, oh, I'm like your cousin.
Oh, okay.
I forget what, I think she says she told people that she was his cousin. That's when she was in disguise. But I guess it makes sense because she very quickly ends up like tearing through her normal clothes to reveal her Supergirl outfit. Yeah. What do you think of the Supergirl outfit here?
I mean, this was my first iteration of it.
Same.
So I like it. It's very 90s.
It is very 90s. I mean, I like that it is homemade because she just appears having it. Like, yeah. I'm not sure exactly, like based on how she's dressed beforehand, I don't think it quite works. Like I don't know how you will run around in jeans. We have a skirt on underneath. Right. She wasn't wearing gloves, and all of a sudden she is.
That's fine.
Yeah, and I don't think she's wearing red boots, but it is a good look. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of cool, the homemade sort of thing.
No, I've always loved it. I mean, JLU was my first introduction to Supergirl, and so this was always my idea of it. Okay. Until I started reading the comics and she popped up in like Identity Crisis and Final Crisis and all those. I didn't realize that wasn't her look. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
because her normal look is more like the one she has in JLU. It's basically Superman's. It's what she has in the TV show series, as well. Yeah, it's Superman's look, but with like a red skirt.
No, in JLU it's still this.
No.
Does she change?
She does. So the episode, because
the first episode she's in this.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope. Nope. I'm pretty sure she's not. I'm pretty sure she's in the new look because then there's an episode where they jump into the future, and I thought it was even in that episode that Jon Stewart tells Superman like, "Oh yeah, like she's trying so hard to be like you. Look, she even changed her look to more closely resemble you."
Hold on.
All right, well, you do that. I guess we pretty much come to the end of the episode.
Part 1. Sorry, I'm just playing you the theme song.
Well, but I've already seen the theme song.
No, I know, but they played the clip from the episode.
I'm pretty sure she's in...
I'm pretty sure you're wrong, Chris.
I'm rarely wrong, Cameron.
Which is why I'm fighting you so hard on this point. We'll cut some of this dead time out.
No, I refuse.
Okay. So the episode ends with 3...
With the Female Furies.
Yes.
Showing up, yeah. And so...
Very cool.
Yeah, so those 3 are Lashina, who is usually she's the leader of the Female Furies after Big Barda leaves. And we'll get around to Big Barda later on in JLU. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she's got those like razor-sharp steel whips that she throws around. I guess they can also shock people.
Yeah.
So it's her, Mad Harriet, who just... kind of looks like the Creeper, but she's got claws. And then Stompa, who's got big seismic boots. So then that's like the cliffhanger is that the 3 of them show up out of a boom tube. Is that in the actual episode itself, though?
Yes,
or is that
in the first episode.
Okay,
because
fine.
That's her fighting the giant monster.
The giant monster. But then, okay, so I guess it's... At some point, she switches over to the different look. Okay, fine.
Yeah, that's right. I want everyone to understand. Episode 70, whatever the time marker is for right now, mark it down.
All right.
Because Cameron was fucking right.
I'll be sure to mark it in my calendar as an acknowledgement of my own hubris. February 4th.
Please do.
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
I was wrong about something. Yeah, so the cliffhanger ends with the Female Furies, and then we jump forward, and it's the second episode starts up, and there's a big fight between Superman, between Supergirl and the 3 of them, and eventually Superman shows up. And I'm gonna be honest, I liked the first episode because it was set up. We got to spend a lot of time with Supergirl, with Kara. We got to spend time with Jimmy. It felt a little more character driven. The second time around, like a lot of the Superman episodes, it just became a big generic smashy fight.
Yeah.
And it's not about the characters at all. And I guess I was thinking about this. I think part of the reason that maybe a lot of these Batman episodes seem better is because the villains aren't so powerful and the heroes aren't so powerful, that they have to be more clever in terms of how they generate conflict. Whereas Superman, they can just have it be a big smash fight. Superman gets electrocuted or hit with laser beams, and he gets weak, and he fights back.
There's one thing in this that I wish they would have talked about more, and I wish they would have highlighted more, because it's there, and it's that Supergirl doesn't know how to fight. Like, Clark, I guess, trained.
Yeah.
Because he knows basic martial arts, and he can punch really well. But Kara, through all of her fights, she never wins on her strength. She wins because the villain messes up. In everything.
But I feel like she did one thing. What did she do that was kind of clever? Didn't she, she did the, she spun in place to throw some flames at one of them, I think, something like that, right?
Yes, that was.
I feel like she did some clever bits.
That was when she was on Apocalypse.
Oh, right, when she gets later on
she's getting, being followed by the parademons. No, when she's fighting the Female Furies, she never wins by punching them. They always knock themselves out. I guess usually by the electric whip, shocking.
Oh,
them.
That's right. Yeah, she gets them to shock each other, that sort of thing. Yeah,
and I wish they would have played that up of her just swinging wide.
Yeah.
At one point of oh no, I can't just rely on brute strength. Oh shit, they're coming at me.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
this is a setup for a really cool fight. Right, it's Supergirl. She's more powerful than any of the 3 of them on their own.
But they're all trained.
Yeah, they've spent their entire life being trained to be very effective killers. So she's got strength and power on her, on her side. But they have 3 of them, and they're more trained. It would have been a really good dynamic. But yeah, they don't really play that into the fight. It's just punch, kick.
Yeah, punch,
smash.
kick, miss. All right, Superman's here, and now he's down.
Yeah, he gets knocked down. They take him back to Apocalypse and then strap him into basically the exact same big circular prison rig that he was on top of the tank in Apocalypse. Now I'm it did seem weird that we just brought him right back around to where he was before. It does kind of feel like when they were writing this that maybe they intended to have more episodes between Apocalypse and Supergirl. I feel like it needed some room there for him to come back and have it be a big deal. But he was just here. And he, gets put in front of Apocalypse, or excuse me, Darkseid yet again.
Darkseid, who seems so nonchalant about the whole thing.
Yeah, you think Darkseid would be?
Oh, cool, you're here.
Super pissed. Yeah, because he had to retreat. He never does that.
Right, he never loses.
No, Superman's oh yeah, if you destroy Earth that'll like void your treaty with New Gods, with New Genesis. Darkseid's like, nah, won't. I'll be fine.
Well, we skipped over the other plot of this episode, which is a great callback.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Go ahead.
Fleischer's, there's a comet flying by Earth called Fleischer's Comet. Wonderfully named after the original Fleischer Superman series of the 50s. And so Darkseid / Granny's plan is she has a giant magnet which is going to pull the comet to Earth, and that is Darkseid's way of getting back because he's not setting foot on the planet, but the planet is still doomed. Yeah. So he's not voiding the treaty.
Did you ever see, it's a tangent but it relates, did you ever see the pilot for the X-Men animated show that never panned out called Pride of the X-Men, based on Kitty Pryde? So, yeah, I have it on VHS. I'm sure we can track it down somewhere else.
Does she have to make the entire Earth transparent so they can pass through it?
No, but that does happen in the comics.
Okay.
That's how the Joss Whedon arc ends, actually, in Astonishing X-Men.
What year was that?
No, she had to make no, that's right. That was like 2004, 2005.
Okay.
But sorry, I had it backwards. She had to make a massive space bullet.
Okay.
Intangible, so it passed through the Earth.
Because there's the finale of Danny Phantom is that story.
It was that storyline?
There's an asteroid coming to Earth, a ghost rock coming to Earth. And so he has to get all of the ghosts from the ghost world together to make the entire Earth.
Including Vlad Masters?
Including Vlad Masters. What's the word? Not translucent. Intangible.
Intangible, yeah.
Yeah.
No, so
and it's great.
Because in Pride of the X-Men, it's Magneto has his asteroid M, and he's going to capture a comet using magnets and hurl it towards Earth. Using magnets, yeah. It's just so Kitty Pryde is like she's the introductory character that introduced us to this whole world. It's actually pretty good. It's got White Queen in there. Okay. There's an Australian Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman.
I realize now that doesn't seem strange, given that we've always had an Australian Wolverine. But at the time, it was like he was not Canadian. He had an Australian accent. He's like,
it's literally it's not a Wolverine. It's just Hugh Jackman.
It's just Hugh Jackman. Yeah. It's pretty good though.
It's got
actually.
his prop claws.
Yeah, it's got Dazzler in there. It's got Juggernaut, the Blob Pyro. It's like all of your favorites, like X-Men and Brotherhood. But so same sort of plot here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, again, we get to the end of this and it just descends into like, oh, it's another big thing's going to come down to destroy the planet. Supergirl smashes the magnet.
Yeah, before they can. That was an interesting little twist.
I guess that's true. Yeah, she's like, I'll break it.
Yeah, she smashes the magnet, but because of that, Superman now has to use his strength to stop the asteroid coming to Earth.
Oh yeah,
and he does, and then part of it breaks off, and then Kara breaks it, which I feel like is more dangerous, right? Because they're past atmosphere.
Yeah, if it's
so now it's just millions of tiny flaming rocks.
Yeah, you definitely want to break
hundreds
the thing up
of miles an
outside
hour.
the atmosphere. Yeah,
that's
that's fine. I'm sure only like 10 people died.
Yeah, that's fine.
By Superman standards, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, the city is only partially destroyed.
Yeah.
The Daily Planet is still standing, so it's a victory in Superman's eyes.
They're gonna build just a small monument in his honor.
Yeah, it's just like an Oscar-sized trophy.
Yeah, just a little one. Just like, oh, yeah, it was okay. I did notice something
Part
interesting.
One I loved.
I liked part one. Part two was kind of meh for me. I feel like there's a lot of Superman stuff too, where it's like when they stretch it out to 2 episodes, we get more character and more interesting stuff in one of them. And the second one's just all smashy fighty stuff. It was even the problem a little bit with World's Finest towards the end there. It was a little generic. Mm-hmm. I did know something interesting though. So when they activate the space magnet and the beam shoots out, it's coming from the middle of the country. It's not coming from the coast.
Kansas. It's from Nebraska.
It's from Nebraska. I think so. Does that mean that in this world, in this continuity, that Metropolis is supposed to be more like Chicago?
Yeah, I could say that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because I think my understanding is that if
it's coming from like the middle, then it would be more of like a St. Louis, or maybe like
it was coming from about
because in that little circle you would have like Chicago, St. Louis, like Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of where. I mean, Chicago then at least has water around
or
it.
Philadelphia, not Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
yeah,
but no, it has to be on the coastline because like they go off to like Rikers prison and Metallo like walks across the seafloor. So I think that was just an error on their part. Mm-hmm. I think it's still on the eastern seaboard.
Yeah,
somewhere. It's across a giant lake from Metropolis, from Gotham. That one.
Well, I think it's the Smallville one where it's like right out.
Yeah, it's like
it's in Kansas.
Yeah, initially it's like, oh my god, it's like a 3-hour drive away, and by the end of it, they're just like bopping back and forth.
Yeah,
rapidly all the time.
It's across the street.
Yeah, well, I live in a
Smallville is just a suburb of Metropolis.
I live in a small apartment above a cafe in Smallville, but I commute 3 hours every day to my internship at the Daily Planet.
Yes.
Yeah. God. Yeah, I don't know. Overall, kind of okay. I'm really glad Supergirl's here though, because like her presence now means we're gonna get some great episodes. Like Girls Night Out is one of the best in all the DCAU, so that's coming down the line pretty soon.
Yeah.
But so I don't. How much do you know about Supergirl in the comics? Because there's a lot of iterations of her, and they get really fucking confusing.
Not a lot.
Okay, so the version that most of us know is Kara Zor-El, which is she's not Zor-El in this. It's like in
I didn't write it down.
In Z or something like that. But that version is Superman's cousin. So that's the original one that came out in like the 50s. Like Otto Binder, who also created Batgirl. No, that was Carmen Whatever. Carmen Sandiego.
Famous writer / espionage.
Exactly. But her origin's not too dissimilar. The difference was Argo City was still part of Krypton, but it was Jor-El's brother Zor-El lived there, and it was inside this like big weather dome because he was like a climate scientist. So when the planet exploded, like that chunk survived and was able to drift through space. And eventually he like meets a woman, gets married, has a kid, Kara, and they're trying to like slowly veer that chunk of the planet, the city, this dome city, towards Earth. But it gets hit by an asteroid, and Zor-El then launches Kara out in a rocket to save her before everyone else dies.
Got it.
So it's similar, but it's a little bit different. But she does go by Linda Lee Danvers as like her alias. She has a brunette wig and glasses like we see in this comic.
Yes.
She also has Streaky the Super Cat.
Amazing.
And Comet the Super Horse.
Even better.
Who apparently was a former centaur.
Oh,
I'm not sure how he went from being a centaur to a super horse.
I feel like when he landed, he got like severed in half on impact. And when the doctors came, they're like, "Oh no, this horse butt. we need to find a head for this horse butt immediately." This human half is clearly dead.
Yeah. No, he was a space centaur.
Yes.
He rode a comet until it hit Earth. It crashed into a horse farm. So when the paramedics showed up, they found just bits of severed horses. They assumed that they had to put the horse back together, and the upper half was just some random farmer dude.
Yes.
They let him die.
But they put the brain inside the horse.
That's true. They took the farmer's brain, the centaur brain, put it inside the horse.
Yes.
Why the fuck is there a super horse? I don't even know. But so that...
I'm fine with there being a super horse. I'm not fine with it being a former centaur.
Former centaur. Then it gets ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is like a hat on a hat sort of situation, but it's like a horse on a human on a horse.
Yes.
Yes. So, but that iteration was around from like the 50s into the 80s until Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I've never read. I don't know if you have ever read it.
I own it. I have it
okay.
framed because I have the individual issues of that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How many issues is it?
12.
12. Oh, so you have all 12 of them framed? Mm-hmm. It's like one giant frame thing? Mm-hmm. Have I never seen that?
It was up, and then I got really bad frames, and I'm not allowed to hang a lot of stuff in my apartment.
Oh, okay.
So they kept falling.
Oh, you got to get like the command strips.
I did.
Oh, doesn't it work? Was it that heavy?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was like in frame.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. It's too bad.
I know.
Oh, well. But I mean, like, so in Crisis on Infinite Earths, that's when Kara dies. She like sacrifices herself to save whatever, but then she's written out of continuity. That's that famous cover of Superman holding her body. So then
Which is then completely trumped because Flash dies in the next issue.
I know. Then he's gone. Yeah, that's when Barry Allen sacrifices himself, right? Yeah. So, but then
literally the next issue.
Oh my god. So then the other version
was she Power Girl at this time?
No. So Power Girl. I think we'll go more into Power Girl when we get to the Galatea episode in just JLU.
Okay.
But I believe
Power
Girl is Kara from Earth 2.
Got it. Okay.
Who makes her way to Earth 1 and joins the JSA.
Yes.
I think so. I think she's a JSA character. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but I remember there was another form of Supergirl in like the 80s and the 90s. So that one's called The Matrix. Here we go. This is a direct quote from the Wikipedia entry. The Matrix is a man-made life form made of synthetic protoplasm created by a heroic Lex Luthor of a pocket continuum.
Got it.
So
don't see anything wrong yet.
Nope. And so it resembles Supergirl and has most of her same powers, but also is like psychokinetic, can shapeshift, and then also can cloak and is invisible. So basically also has the power set of Martian Manhunter. So the Matrix, in the guise of Supergirl, falls in love with Lex, our Lex, like the normal continuity Lex, and then leaves him when she realizes he's a huge ass bag. So, but it's because of the Matrix that they explain how Clark is still alive after the Doomsday fight. So basically, Superman dies, gets buried. Everyone assumes that Clark also died in the ensuing destruction, also gets buried. And then once Superman returns, the Matrix shapeshifts into Clark, and then Superman goes and rescues Clark Kent from the rubble. And they're like, hey, look.
Oh, right. Okay.
Even though we both have mullets, it's not the same person. But then eventually the Matrix sacrifices herself by saving a dying Linda Danvers, and their bodies and minds and souls merge, and they become an Earthborn angel.
Yep.
Which is created when one being selflessly sacrifices him or herself to save another being who's beyond saving. And
so Hercules.
Yeah, basically. And then so it's like most of the same power set, that she has like these fire angel wings and can shunt, which sounds really inappropriate, but it's the ability to teleport to a place you've already been once before.
Got it.
So, because I remember, because I had in like the early 2000s, like the DK, they do those like great books, like encyclopedias. So I had one for DC, like Marvel. I had one for like X-Men. But I remember reading
I had
about
the X-Men ones.
Yeah, like I remember reading about the Supergirl who like, and seeing a picture of like Supergirl in more or less the cartoon outfit, but having these big fire wings. Like, who the hell is this? So I read further on what happened to her. Honestly, what that character's story is so crazy and convoluted, even more so than how it started. I'm not going to go into all of it because it's fucking insane. But eventually, she's wiped out of existence in Infinite Crisis.
Yes.
So then there was always...
Yes, I remember that.
Okay, yeah. So then I always remember there was another Supergirl who appeared in Superman Batman Public Enemies. So the comic story arc that directly preceded the reintroduction of Kara. That's the one where Lex Luthor declares a manhunt on Superman and Batman helps them. So it was adapted into a movie, which wasn't great, but the comic is great.
Okay.
But at one point, it seems like Lex has captured Superman and Batman in the White House. And so Nightwing leads a strike team to go and get him back. So it's like Nightwing, Cassandra Cain Batgirl, and Tim Drake Robin are like the B team, like sneaking in to try and save them, while Superboy and then this version of Supergirl, along with Krypto.
Yeah.
Good old Krypto. Like are the big showy like burst the front door sort of thing. And so this version of Supergirl is in like a kind of dressed like Power Girl, but in a black leotard, no boob window.
Got it.
Red cape, short black hair. And I've always wondered, who the hell is this?
That's interesting.
Because I've never seen her pop up anywhere else. So I guess that character's name is Cirl, C-I-R-L. And when she appears, she claims to be the daughter of Superman and Lois Lane. And again, she has most of the same sort of set of powers. Eventually, it's revealed that she's a human girl who's been altered by Brainiac to appear Kryptonian. And there's some big battle that she gets involved in. And then she's like written out of continuity once again. But it is interesting because she shows up right up until the reintroduction of Kara in like the next issue. And that picks up right afterwards because there's a huge Krypton asteroid that explodes. And Kara's ship is stashed inside that asteroid.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you read the Supergirl arc?
Of
Superman, Batman, the reintroduction of Supergirl?
No.
It's really good.
Okay.
It was adapted into Apocalypse. I think we talked about it recently. And that one too, like it's a very similar plotline to what we just had, but in that one, Apocalypse kidnaps her and does successfully brainwash her into being his minion. But that's how we get Kara back. And I think she's more or less been back in a similar-ish iteration since then, even through the New 52. I don't know about Rebirth.
I assume she's there. She seems to be growing in popularity, especially with the TV series.
That's true with the
She seems
TV
to be growing in
series.
popularity a lot.
And she's always been a pretty big character. So like she was around. They had the 80s movie with Helen Slater. Did you ever see that? No, you haven't seen the Richard Donners. Why would you have seen that? I remember watching.
Oh yeah, I've seen Supergirl.
Yeah, I remember watching that as a kid and it not making any goddamn sense. But it's set in the same universe, and like Jimmy Olsen is the continuity point there. And then of course she appeared in Smallville, which I know you have seen.
I have.
And that was a pretty good version.
I vaguely remember it.
Yeah, Laura Vandervoort. And she also shows up and immediately has powers, and she kind of gets buddy with Lex, and Clark's like, no, you shouldn't trust him, and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, and I guess I forget how it all happened, but like she basically kind of disappears from storylines, and eventually like she's like
that's why I don't
teleported off
remember
Earth.
her.
Yeah, because she like basically just kind of phased out, and then at the end of it, they like teleport into the future or someplace like that. I don't remember.
Okay.
And then of course there's the CW show as well.
Yes.
Have you watched? You did. You watched.
I watched first season and then like half of season 2.
Okay, I've only ever seen the Flash crossover musical episode, which was just really goddamn charming.
It was great.
It was really sweet, but it was a lot of fun. But I love Supergirl. I think she's a great character.
I'm really excited because she has great storylines coming in or just JLU.
Yeah,
we're kind of going into the Matrix thing. Lex has the clone of Supergirl, which is her like at her peak.
Galatea.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, who's like their version of Power Girl, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great episode.
Yeah. She's in 2 episodes.
I think she's in a few of them. Yeah, because you're right. Because she's in the first episode of JLU in her Superman attire. Because I got that wrong. And then she's in the Galatea episode, and then she's in the one where they jump forward to meet the Legion of Superheroes, who we're getting an introduction to in a few weeks, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, I look forward to the rest of season. So this ends season 2.
Yes.
Of the animated series. We are kind of running a little long in this episode.
We'll save it for next time.
So I think next episode we're going to start off by doing our short list of season 2, the actual good episodes. But season 3 of Superman's actually looking pretty promising.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. So after that long chat about Supergirl, what do you have to plug?
I have 2 things to plug for today. There was a YouTube video by Nerd Writer, who I've plugged a few times on here.
Oh yeah.
Who did a great segment on Mr. Bean and the art of physical comedy. And it's so, because usually when you think physical comedy in America, you always go to the vaudevillians,
right?
Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin. A lot of people bring up
like Laurel Hardy and Abbott and Costello. I think.
Yeah,
Three Stooges.
Three Stooges. A lot of people will start bringing up Jackie Chan now.
Yeah,
because he's a great physical comedian.
Jim Carrey on some level.
Yeah,
too.
But Mr. Bean, it's all about like, it's like owning the character, and it's all of this like such minute decisions that he makes with all these characters.
Oh, interesting.
These tiny details that just make everything he does so funny.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend it. It's like an 8-minute video. It's really interesting.
Oh, that's awesome. I've seen, I think, one of the Mr. Bean movies. I need to go watch more of them because I love Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah. And then I started watching this OK series on Hulu called Casual. Did you ever watch that?
Oh, I know of it.
It's a Hulu exclusive. I remember when it came out because I did very early promotion for it.
Okay.
But it's basically, if you haven't seen it, take Jeff Winger from Community and just put him in a show without any charming characters.
Oh no.
And that's what it is.
Oh no, so is it not good?
It's fine. Like the Jeff Winger character is still funny because it's still basically Jeff Winger.
Yeah.
But everyone else, like no one has the charm to bring him down.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you remember the episode of Community where
I've only seen like a couple episodes of Community.
Okay. Well, there's one where he gets like he gets what are the sunglasses? What are the sunglasses from Top Gun?
Oh, aviators?
Yeah, he gets a pair of aviators, and like it pushes his confidence, not his ego, to like another level. And the whole episode is them trying to drop his ego, but he's like too into himself.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's like that episode turned into a season.
Oh,
okay.
A
series.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 'cause I really like the lead actress. What's her name?
I don't remember.
I really like her though. She's good. Popped out a few other things.
I like her too. She's a therapist.
Okay.
Who recently got a divorce.
Okay.
And it's good. I'm like 5 or 6 episodes in. It's fine. It has a couple funny moments.
Okay. We're checking out maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you got nothing else to watch right now.
All right. I might go do that.
Oh, and Black Lightning. I'll throw that in there because that's better.
Oh yeah. So what how like you watched the first 2 episodes, right? How were they?
We can talk about it more either next episode or off air because we are very long right now.
Actually, no, we're just at an hour.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. It's the same point you brought up with Black Panther earlier of like we being white men.
Yeah.
We've always kind of had the shows catered to us.
Yeah, just every hero. Yeah.
And this is such a different take because it's not only a black hero, it's also an adult, like an adult.
That's true. Yeah, they're not all like 25.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's a cool aspect. And he's the principal and the father figure. And his storylines are all about trying to get his marriage back together and making sure his kids stay safe. And there's like a turf war going on in his city between all of these kind of not inner gang, but like these inner gangs.
Yes.
And like his school is kind of at the center of it, and so he has a a deal with all of the surrounding gang leaders that like his school is off limits.
Okay.
And so it's kind of that battle of keeping it that way.
Oh, that does sound really interesting.
It's really good so far.
Does it seem like a little bit more adult than like Flash or Arrow?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, so he's the principal of the school on top of being hero. Because I know he was Black Lightning back in the day, and then he retired and comes back, right?
Yes, yeah. It's a 9-year break between him using his powers again.
See, that's kind of interesting. Also having him be a principal, because all the rest of these characters, they're not really role models. Like I haven't watched Arrow in a while, but I know he's like mayor now or something like that. They kind of transition towards that. But that must be kind of an interesting dynamic to have him both be like a role model and a supervisor to all these kids, but then also a vigilante. Because I've heard that too, that this one kind of plays up the idea of him being a vigilante more.
Yeah, so the police the other shows are like still hunting him. The opening shot is him looking at his wanted poster, which is still hanging up in the police station.
Okay.
But yeah, it's episode 2 very much plays into that idea of like he's holding a PTA meeting, and there's a parent in there. It's like, why did Black Lightning save your kids? Because his kids get dragged and like almost put into a sex ring.
Oh God.
Yeah. And so Black Lightning comes and only saves his kids. And so the mom is like, my daughter's still in there, and Black Lightning didn't save her. And so she's coming to him as a principal.
Yeah.
Of like, you are, they call him Black Jesus, because since he's the one that keeps peace between all of the gangs.
Yeah.
Like, you are the only person that I've seen that can do anything. And like, I need you to do this.
Shit.
And so it's him. What we talk about in this show a lot is there's a good balance between principal and hero, vigilante. Where he does try and do everything as himself first.
Okay.
And when that fails, and then when the police fail, that's when he's finally like, okay, I'm not the front line, I'm the last resort.
Yeah.
And that's a really cool dynamic.
Oh, that is really awesome. Man, I wish the CW made it easier for me to watch their shit.
I know.
That's the reason I stopped watching the other stuff. And then the nice thing about this sort of is that it's not, as of yet, associated with the other shows. So you can watch it and not have to worry about what's going on in Legends of Tomorrow as well.
Right.
Okay, maybe I'll try and track that down, because that does sound really good.
Because it's only 3 episodes in. I've only seen the first 2.
Okay. All right. I think that one I definitely will try and track down, because it does sound pretty good. Yeah. So
what are you watching, listening, reading to?
So mine is kind of a replug, but I mentioned a while ago our friends over at the Watchtower Database, James and Ted, their podcast, The 12th Level Intellects. They just got it up on iTunes.
Oh, nice.
So before it was up on SoundCloud, and I'm sure, like many other people, like I mostly just stick to iTunes. So I kind of would forget to go over and jump to the other app and listen to theirs. But it's up on iTunes now. I've been listening to it again, and it's fantastic. And they actually reached out to see if I could help them get it all set up on iTunes, and I couldn't, because iTunes completely changed their entire layout. It's like, God damn it! It made it so much more difficult. But it's up there, and it's fantastic. So they do basically what we do. They just have like they each approach with 5 different topics for the day to talk about it, and they know a lot more about the comics than we do.
I'm sure
we really don't.
I don't.
I know a bit.
You know more than I do.
I've retained a lot from those old like encyclopedia books that I read, God, like 12 years ago now, but enough it's kind of held up in there that I can pull some stuff out randomly.
That's how I feel with all my cartoons.
Yeah. See, you got the cartoon side of it covered.
Yeah.
That's why we do this. It's a little symbiotic thing. It's perfect. Yeah. And occasionally you prove that I'm wrong. Yeah, so go check that out. I'll put it in the plugs down at the bottom. It's a great podcast. Highly recommend listening to it. And then the other thing too is I'll put in the links for the Black Panther GoFundMe campaign, because I want this movie to do really well.
Yeah, and I'm sure it will.
I think it will. Yeah, and everything that we've been hearing so far has been really positive.
I'm sure it will be the highest grossing Marvel film until Infinity War.
Until Infinity War. Yeah. Yeah, that will be interesting to see what kind of box office it gets. I'd be curious to see if we can get up to, because I think, what is the highest grossing?
Right now, it's still Force Awakens. Oh,
no,
Marvel?
No, of Marvel. Because I know Avengers broke $1 billion. I know Iron Man 3 broke $1 billion.
I think Avengers is still the highest.
I think the first.
I don't think Ultron beat it.
I thought Avengers 3 broke it though.
Did Civil War beat it? I think the first Avengers is still like the 4th highest grossing film of all time.
Okay, yeah, but a handful of theirs have broken the $1 billion. I know Avengers did. Iron Man 3. I don't think Avengers 2 did. Maybe Civil War. But yeah,
if I remember the list correctly, I think it's Force Awakens, Avatar, Titanic, Avengers.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I think it's going to do.
Oh, sorry, Jurassic World Avengers.
Okay, right, yeah. But I think it's going to do really well, and I'm super excited for it. And we're already scheduling our crossover podcast.
Yes.
To talk about
It's finally coming back.
Oh, God.
After a month hiatus.
I know, just
it feels so much longer than that.
It does.
I guess
well,
it's 2 months.
It was 2 months.
Because it was early December.
It was early December, yeah. But excited for that to come back around. But anyways, I think we've talked at length at this point about many things.
Mm-hmm.
So we will leave you here. If you want to reach out to us, we can be found at Timm Talk Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and a Gmail.
Yes.
We are also.
Let us know what we said wrong.
Yeah. Tell me how I'm wrong, please.
Yes.
I need my ego tampered down. Just like, what's the guy's name?
Jeff Winger.
I'm like Jeff Winger. I bought some aviator sunglasses recently. Bring me back down to earth. Reach out to us. We are now up on Spotify and YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm also going to be reintroducing the timestamps. I stopped doing it for a long time because it's a lot of extra work. But
lazy piece of shit.
Well, but someone requested timestamps on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
And so I'm going to do it. I think we've also heard from other people too who don't really care about DCAU, that they'll just like skip the middle. And so I'm going to make things slightly easier for them.
Definitely not anyone related to me.
I'm going to do
not any kind of parental figure.
Do what I can to be supportive of the listeners we do have. And for those of you who do reach out, thank you so much. We do appreciate it. I always say this. I'm trying to get better about responding.
Yes.
I'm busy sometimes.
I probably should also help with that at some point.
Probably help with that at some point. Yeah. But if you want to reach out to me personally, I am at Lordifer on Twitter and Instagram.
I am at CamDexter_adventures. And if you follow me, you'll see my week at Disney World, which is about to happen.
You bastard.
Yeah.
So goddamn jealous. All right. Well, but Cameron, you go off and have fun at Disney World.
Thanks.
Report back in a couple weeks and tell me how amazing it is.
If I come back, I'll let you know.
If you come back, you're going to go out there, you're going to paint yourself blue and become a Navi, just a native Navi. You're going to go live in the Tree of Life.
No, I have to get taller.
You have to grow your hair out a lot longer too.
Yeah. I mean, I can get a wig for that. I can't really fake height as easily. Stilts, yeah, but I need the joints. I need to run.
Well, can you just get away for them to invent that brain swappy technology? They'll just put you in a real Navi. God, and how happy you'll be.
I just brain swap with someone who's 5'9". Just a little bit taller.
Just a little bit. You just have just push over the edge. Oh my God. All right, well, have fun out there. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye, guys.
I'm Solange.
Oh.
All right, let's do it again. Start over. I'm Solange.
And I'm Jessica.
And this is our podcast, Jessica and Solange Take Down the Patriarchy.
We break down movies from a feminist point of view to see how they uphold or take down the patriarchy.
Listen to us on Nerdist School Network or subscribe to us on iTunes, or you can find us on SoundCloud. We come out the last Thursday of the month when we can.
Be a part of the resistance just by listening and supporting us. It's that easy. Oh, and go vote at all elections.
The Nerdist School Network. For class and show information, visit nerdistschool.com.